The one I really treasure. Open to the pages, child, and then I'd read the fullest measure. Read out loud the part that says the truth will light the right directions. Deep within your heart, gonna find that inner space connection. Then we see the mysteries all unravel, one by one by one. Hey, yeah, sweet tomorrow morning. Bursting
and we
in.
have a very special guest with us tonight. This will be first time for him to be on the show with us. Very knowledgeable and young man, and so it should be very, very interesting. But hello, Angel. How are you doing? It's a pleasure to have you with us tonight. How are you?
I'm doing very well, and how are you guys?
Good.
We're great. Great. And my audience, can you kind of tell them who you are and what you do?
Well, one of the things that I do, I am the spiritual advisor, and I take people to the next level from wherever they are spiritually to as far as they can handle going. And I give a lot of very interesting teachings that are not available to be researched. A lot of what I teach is off-world, but it still checks out. And because it hasn't really been entered into your World Wide Web or your Wikipedia or YouTube to a large degree, it hasn't been tainted or distorted yet, which makes it very powerful. So it's a pleasure to be able to guide people, and I have very interesting modalities and teachings to provide people with when they're ready to grow and wake up into the reality of just how expansive creation is. So that's one of the many things that I do.
Great, great. And I'm finding out that more and more people are willing and they're ready to go to this next level. A lot of people seems like they're coming out of the church mentality because people are really asking questions, about spirituality. And, you hear people saying your vibration is rising. What is that about?
Well, there is an energetic shield that most people have around them that extends. If you hold your arms out horizontally, that is, and you go all around your body. If you hold them over your head and beside you, it extends out to maybe 2 or 3 feet. It should be about 5 feet altogether, but that's known as your aura. And when you come into the energetic field of someone, they can sense the vibratory weight of how you oscillate. So basically the sum total of your thoughts, how you perceive the world, whether you are pessimistic or optimistic, is encoded within that energetic shield that most people refer to as an aura, or sometimes slangularly as your vibe or your vibration. And this is something that people use to interface and gauge who you are as an individual. So that's pretty much what people are perceiving when they come into contact with that energetic shield.
Can you increase that shield or make it more powerful, or that's just you? That's just your energy. Can you enhance it?
Absolutely. You can enhance it to a great degree. There are many different masters that have walked the face of the planet. If you study, there was a man named Paramahansa Yogananda, and he was a very powerful, he has now left this world, and he has made his ascension, but he was one that you could feel his aura from blocks and blocks away. There would be a fluctuation of energy that would that people would perceive as very delightful. And there are many people that can turn it on like a switch. It's a beautiful thing. This is one of the reasons why I insist that whenever I do give a seminar, that I don't sell the seminars online and I don't Ustream it, because I would prefer people to come and get the energy that I project. And that is something that has a lot of healing. It has a certain tonality to it that will be long-lasting, long after the person has left the seminar.
So is this the energy, like people that does Reiki and healing energy, is this the energy that they use, that energy that's around you? Or do you?
No.
Am I, just say I was going to do some healing energy on you. Am I giving you my healing energy, or how does that work?
Well, it really depends. Some people have a certain amount of energy of their own that they use. So when a child falls and hurts itself, and the mother coddles the child and they caress the child and they kiss, the area and make it better, it really is an energetic exchange that comes directly from the heart space of the mother. But to a larger degree, when people have miraculous healing, that energy also comes from another compartment that has to be developed within the individual. And when it's something that's even bigger than that, the energy actually comes through the individual. So a high priest, a master, a warlock, a sorcerer, or a shaman, they are open vessels that these energies can come through them from somewhere else, and it can cause the participant or the client to receive a great endowment of energy that will bring about many different things.
Interesting. So what about when you are around certain people or person and it's a real strong negative energy? Do you cleanse your energy, or how do you protect yourself from that negative energy that you are around? I could stand next to somebody, and if that energy is just real negative, how does a person protect themselves from that?
Well, it's better not to be in the vicinity of someone who has that kind of energy, but it's really no different than someone who goes out in a rainstorm, if they go out into weather that causes someone to have an umbrella or a parka so that they can protect themselves from becoming drenched in wet. And the analogy would be it's important for people to have spiritual protection that would disallow that kind of disturbance. A lot of people are empathetic and they pick up a lot of these energies, and they haven't really been trained how to shield themselves. So if you don't have spiritual protection, it's important that you begin to learn how to protect yourself by, some people can imagine themselves encased in a bubble of white light. And, if you hold that image for 5 minutes a day, that you are in the middle of a bright white bubble, and you do this for 5 minutes a day for 21 days, you will have a decent source of protection from maybe a level 2 person that has a lot of negativity. And that's something that, anyone that hears this, they can do that for themselves. But it has to be a consistent circuit that someone works on, and you build that from within your own complex.
Okay. Now, they talk about, you hear people calling each other gods and that we have this superpower. I mean, what is God, and what is this superpower we have, and how do we tap into it?
Which one would you like me to answer first?
Okay, reporter.
what is God power? They, they like, we have this God power, we have this superpower. How do we tap into that? And what is it first?
Well, there are people that have certain power that they bring in. Most of the energy that people have is vastly unused. Most people do not tap into the deeper wells of energy that's available to them. Sometimes people are forced to use this power in times of crisis. We hear about someone who runs into a fire and they're not burnt because they have shifted gears and they have tapped into a dormant bank of energy that is inside of all people. Or sometimes if someone is in peril, they can keep themselves alive if they're inside of an icy river, and the body can go into freeze and hypothermia within minutes. But when someone has the will to live, they can elevate their temperature and tap into some of that Kundalini energy that everyone has at the base of their spine. This energy belongs to the gods. It was built into the human complex at the beginning of the ages of your Bible. And this is something that is a hidden source of power that I actually activate within people. So this can turn the body into something that can sustain life within a very drastic situation. So there are many different researchable instances where people spontaneously have to tap into another source that they didn't know that they had. And it's not really God power as much as it is some of your dormant spiritual genes of which most people have. Unfortunately, a lot of people die without ever experiencing the magic that is already inside. So these are some examples. And then if you're talking about someone who can perform miracles or really rearrange the reality for people, that also comes from a higher part of who that person is. So when someone is in tune with other parts of themselves, because we are multidimensional beings, they can create very magical circumstances in the lives of others.
Wow. So, like if you have a child and you give a child maybe an amethyst stone or something and you put it in their pocket, if the child don't understand what you're giving them, I mean, would that stone do anything, or is just a stone in his pocket as far as he's concerned?
Well, children are a lot more spiritual than you think.
Yeah.
Children don't really need amethyst stones to be put in their pocket. Children don't need that until they are a certain age. If there is a child that has something like, they have a learning disorder or something like that, you could always give the child a black tektite or black tourmaline or pyrite. Those are good stones. But the other stones, children don't need that because children are by and large already in tune with elementals and codons and different forces that shape reality. Children can actually see minotaurs and fairies and unicorns. They can see that. They don't always talk about it, but when they do, they're pretty much dissuaded from even believing in it, and therefore they willingly close down the facility of their third eye. But children don't need that. It's the adults that need the gemstones.
Okay. All right. Now, you just said that, we choose to come here. What about people that, comes into a bad family, abusive, they get tortured? And what about babies that come here and they die, after a day or two, or children that die? They choose to can't come here to go through that?
For the most part, they do. So if you've heard of sudden infant death syndrome, it's really the soul has made an agreement to go back home because they realize that the density of this planet and the veracity and the negativity is a lot more than what they bargained for, and they simply change their mind and they leave this world.
Now, you hear people talk about duality and parallel universe and parallel reality. What is that about?
There are alternate dimensions where most people live, but they're not aware of it. Most of the people that are here on the planet are people who have homes and places on these other dimensional complexes, and most people exist on all of these dimensions. But the caveat is that your attention is keyed in permanently on this third dimensional reality. There are some people that spend partially or part of their time outside of their sleeping state, also remotely being aware in the fifth dimension. And they bring back some of the entertainment that your world sees. They bring back some of the inventions, some of the books, some of the music. Stevie Wonder is an example of someone whose attention is predominantly on higher dimensions, and he has consistently brought back music from the distant future into this reality. And because he's been given license to do that spiritually, it has helped to advance everyone who listens to his music.
So is that kind of like time travel, unconsciously? Or
pretty much.
Okay.
It's pretty unconscious with most people. Most people aren't aware that when they have a great idea or when they are inspired, it is the energy of something that has happened in the future that they are in the middle of, and they carry it back with them. And when the mechanics change, when you cross dimensions, it creates a very sharp moment of serendipity or a moment of clarity. And they use the energy to back engineer something that the world has not seen, but it has come from the future.
So can we do that consciously? You know, can a person, I know they have remote viewers and people can, you know, out-of-body experience. Can we go forward and backwards in the future, in the past?
Yes, we can. And I teach my students how to do that. And a lot of the testimonies, if you listen to them, a lot of my students, they are in the future in classrooms where I'm teaching them how to remember that and wake up in their dreams. So it's something that can be done, but it has to be taught by a master.
Now, you say that you teach. Can you give the audience how they can get in touch with you if they want to come to your class? But you don't do the internet class. They have to come in person, right?
If you go to the website, which is called Galighticus.com, and that's spelled Galighticus, we have an events page that has the events that will be coming up. So the next event is called the Big Picture Seminar. That's going to be Sunday, January the 8th in Los Angeles at the LA Marriott. And then the day before, I will be activating people's Kundalini, which will be on Saturday on January the 7th. And then I will be doing Hypernatural Magic, which is a seminar that is off-world information. If you saw the movie Doctor Strange, a lot of what happened in that movie were things that I taught people how to do in this seminar. So when I was given this seminar by the gods as a gift to give to people who are ready to have the power, they gave me very explicit instructions that I am only allowed to teach that seminar once on each continent. So America has had theirs already, and the next one will be taught in London, February the 5th of 2017. So if people are interested in coming to the seminar, they can go to Galighticus.com and they can make their arrangements from there. I also have over 100 free videos online, and some of them are snippets, very small snippets from some of the mini seminars that I've done. Some of them are some of the classes that I've taught, and a lot of them are just really informational, really good, solid information that people could use to advance their lives, protect themselves, and learn more about the spiritual world. And that is on the YouTube channel. And the YouTube channel is also Galighticus.com on YouTube.
But there is still hope today, even when you are falling forever in death.